This video's learning objective is to relate ratios to fractions and to linear functions. We've kind of been doing this, implicitly in the past few videos, but kind of as again, since it's a specific specification point, I thought I'd kind of clarify and just make sure we've got this down. And in fact, kind of since we've been doing this, already, I'm actually just going to go straight to work examples, and we'll see what the question, the specification is all about. So Charlie, Noah, and Debbie share out prize money in the ratio of 3 to 5 to 7. What fraction of the prize money does Noah receive? Again, we've done this before already in this kind of a, I've taught you the easy way and the kind of the harder way, I guess. So just pause the video, give this a go, see what happens. Okay, so I'll do the hard kind of way first, I guess, and then I'll do the easy trick. So, let's just say, kind of when we have questions like this, remember what we do is, since we have unknowns, right? We give unknowns the kind of names, or rather variable names, like such as x, y, and z. Or in this case, we'll do kind of c, d, and n, or whatever. So let's say let the money Charlie wins be c, and then let the money Noah wins be n, and so forth, right? And then we can have Noah and Debbie be d, and let the total be t. And so basically, it's usually worthwhile to have kind of a line like this, just to have so we know kind of what everything is, just for the examiner. If you were to go straight to n, d, and t, you could probably guess what it is, but it is important to have this explicit statement. And we know the ratio of kind of Charlie to Noah to Debbie. So since it looks like Charlie, he seems to receive the least amount of money, we can say kind of let the money. So we know Charlie is whatever. We know from the ratio, n is equal to 5 by 3 c. Kind of look from the ratio 3 Charlie to Noah. So for every $3 Charlie earns, Noah gets 5. So the Noah has kind of 5 over 3 c. From that. And then d is equal to 7 over 3c. Again, we have that. And we know the total is equal to c plus n plus d. And if we put everything in terms of c, we have 1. So c plus n is 5 over 3c. And then d is 7 over 3c. And then if we kind of add those up, we have 1 plus 5 over 3 plus 7 over 3. So 7 plus 5 plus 3 over 3, so 10, 15 over 3, which is 5. 5c, so t is equal to 5c. So we know c is a fifth of the total. So Charlie gets a fifth of the total. Charlie gets a fifth of the, So Charlie gets a fifth of the total. And what fraction of the prize money does Noah receive? We need it in terms of Noah. Well, if Charlie gets a fifth of the total, we know Noah is 5 over 3c. So n is equal to 5 over 3c, and c is a fifth t, which is equal to 5 over 3 times by a fifth t. So Noah gets a cool third of the prize money, a third t. Therefore, Noah receives a third of the prize money. Or actually, since it does say explicitly fraction, you could say a third like that. So that's kind of the longer way to do algebraically. The quick, easy way I did kind of say was that what we do is we add them all up, all 3 of these numbers, which goes on the bottom, 3 plus 5 plus 7, and we look at the one we're interested in. So we're interested in Noah. So Noah is 5, the middle one, and that's the fraction of the total. So that is equal to 5 over 3 plus 7 plus 5. What is that? 7 plus 5 is plus 3. That's 15, which is a third. So there we go. We could have kind of done that. But this way, I guess we've shown it working explicitly. And you might be able to see how that kind of pops up in this. So when we define the total in terms of Charlie, basically, we have 3 plus 5 plus 7 all over 3, right? So we're given with Charlie as 5 over 15c. So as we had it here, 15 over 3, pardon me. 15 over 3 here, and then when we go through with this, then we're, c is a fifth t. So fifth of that is 15 over 3 times by so fifth of, sorry, so yeah, we've just flipped that fraction basically. So now that we have that, okay, yeah, so once we've done that trick, kind of, that's the nice and easy trick we have. So let's move on to the other question. A shop sells CDs and DVDs. Yeah, I don't know many shops that still do, but in the ratio of 7 to 9. Write an equation for C in terms of D and to show the relationship between the amount of CDs, which is what we said is C, and DVDs, which is D. So they've actually kind of done this first step of let the number of CDs be C and let the number of DVDs be D for us. And this is kind of asking us for a linear function, basically. So that was kind of the second learning objective point. So the shop sells 7 to 9, right? So that, I mean, we know for every 7 CDs there's 9 kind of DVDs. So we know, for example, 7C, for every 7C there are. And kind of from this ratio, we can just interpret this as saying, C is equal to, C is equal to 7 over 9D. And what we're saying is that if we know this is true because what we do is kind of, the trick I've said before as well, but kind of maybe this isn't enough working, right? So if we think about kind of, again, what the ratio means, the ratio says for every 7 CDs we have 9 DVDs. So if we say kind of if the number of CDs is 7, right? Sorry, is C, right? So if we do C divided by 7, we should get D divided by 9 because for every 7 CDs we have. So for our 7 CD, the number of CDs we have, we'll have the 9th of the number of DVDs basically. So if, for example, if we have a ratio, if we have, say, 7 CDs, so C, and there's 7 of those, right? And there should be kind of 9 DVDs with that for more ratio. And if we divide kind of this by 7, the number of CDs by 7, the number of DVDs by 9, we should get both should be equal to 1. But say if there were say 14 CDs and say and there'd have to be then 18 DVDs, right? So that's kind of we multiply both sides by 2. So that's the only way we get the 7 to 9 ratio. Then again, if we divide both sides by 7, and 14 by 7 and 18 by 9, we should get, again, 2 is equal to 2. So this is why this equation here is true. And if we just multiply up by 7, both sides by 7, so 7 over 9D. And that's kind of all there is to it. Hopefully that all made sense. It's kind of a bit more of a recap video. We've done a lot of this kind of stuff, implicitly we've talked about it, but it was a kind of a spec point in the specification, a specific point, so it was worthwhile kind of just talking over again. Hopefully that all made sense, and I'll see you guys in the next video then.